Lieutenant Commander Jason Hale sat alone at the long silver table, wondering if this was the worst mission of his career or the weirdest. He was on the flagship of the Zarenth Dominion, one of the most powerful alien empires in the galaxy. Their ships were sharp like spears and glowed with violet energy. Their soldiers looked like armored insects, over 7 feet tall, with 6 arms and glowing eyes. Jason was the only human on board. His mission was supposed to be simple: make peace. Earth wanted to join the galaxy's trade network, and the Zarenth. Queen had agreed to a diplomatic meeting. Jason had trained for months: languages, gestures, alien customs. He thought he was ready. He was wrong. Now he sat in the royal dining hall, surrounded by alien nobles who watched him like he was some kind of rare pet. Long crystal tubes filled with glowing drinks lined the table. Strange purple creature was served on golden plates. Jason poked at his meal, trying not to look like a fool. Across from him sat Queen Zaraxis, the ruler of the Zarenth Dominion. She was twice his height, her body covered in beautiful black hand-gold armor that looked grown, not made. Her 6 eyes blinked slowly. Her voice echoed through the hall like thunder in a cave. "You have proven acceptable," she said at last. Jason smiled politely. "Thank you, Your Majesty. We have studied your people. You value loyalty, family, honor." Jason nodded. "Yes, those are important to us." "Good," the Queen said. She stood up, raising one long arm. "Then it is decided." Jason looked around. The alien nobles leaned forward. Something big was about to happen. "You will marry my daughter, human," the Queen said loudly. "And the alliance will be sealed in blood and bond." Jason froze. He blinked. Then he laughed, thinking it was a joke. But no one else laughed. Not even a smile. Silence filled the room. Jason cleared his throat. Wait. What?" Queen Zaraxis tilted her head. "Did you not understand?" "I understood the words," Jason said slowly. "But marriage? Like real marriage?" "Yes. You are to be bound to Princess Kareth, first daughter of my clutch. It is the highest honor." A large golden door opened at the end of the hall. 2 guards stepped aside. And there she was. Princess Kath, single quotes, or each. She was taller than the Queen. Her body was covered in smooth blue-green armor that shimmered like glass. Her face was strange but not ugly. 4 eyes, 2 small mandibles near her mouth, and long silver hair that flowed like silk. She wore a crown of living crystal. Jason swallowed hard. The princess walked slowly, calmly, her many eyes studying him. "This is the one?" she asked her mother. "Yes, he is human. He is brave. And he has manners." Kareth stared at Jason. "He is small." Jason sighed. "Great." Later that evening, Jason sat in a private room, his mind racing. He activated his CUM device. "Hell to Earth Command. Are you guys seeing this?" Admiral Chen's voice crackled through the speaker. "No, we saw." It was live-streamed to the entire diplomatic channel. "You've made quite the impression, Commander." "I didn't agree to anything," Jason hissed. "She just said it out loud and everyone clapped." "Diplomacy with insectoid species." "It is complicated," Chen replied. "You need to buy us time. Don't offend them. Play along." "Play along," Jason said. "They want me to marry her." "Better than war," Chen said. "Earth can't afford a fight with the Zarenth. Stall them. We'll figure something out." The line went dead. Jason groaned and leaned back against the alien furniture. It adjusted to his body like slime. A soft chime echoed through the room. The door opened. Princess Kareth entered. Jason stood up quickly. Your Highness?" "Sit," she said, waving one clawed hand. "This is not a royal meeting. I came to speak." Jason sat, nervous. Kareth moved closer, watching him like a scientist. "You are not what I expected." She said, "Yeah, I get that a lot. You are smaller, softer, less armored. Humans are squishy, yes?" Kareth tilted her head. "Yet you came alone, into the heart of our empire. No weapons, no army. That is brave." Jason shrugged. I've been called stupid before. She made a strange sound, something between a buzz and a laugh. Jason blinked. Was that a joke? Yes. I studied human humor. Well, it's better than studying. Human cooking. Another buzz laugh. Then silence. Kareth's tone changed. I do not wish for this marriage. Jason blinked. Wait, what? I said I do not want this. My mother forces it. Jason leaned forward. You're not into this either? Thank God. I do not know your gods. But I will say this. I need your help. Jason raised an eyebrow. I'm listening. Kareth moved to the window, looking out over the glowing city below. Many in the younger cast want change. We are tired of war, of conquering, of the old ways. My mother rules with strength, but not with wisdom, and you think marrying a human helps? She believes it gives us a link to your world. But I believe it gives me a chance to start something new. Jason frowned. You're using me as a symbol. Yes, she said plainly. But I will not harm you. I promise you safety. You pretend, you smile, and we both gain. Jason stood. Up. So what? We fake an engagement? Yes. Pretend we're in love? Yes. Hold hands in public? Maybe dance at a royal party? Kareth hesitated. If needed. Yes, Jason sighed. Okay, but the second I have to eat one of those live worm things again, I'm out. Another buzz laugh. You are a strange human, Kareth said. People keep telling me that. That night, Jason lay in his bed, staring at the alien ceiling, married to an alien princess. Trapped on a ship full of warrior bugs. Making love. To avoid intergalactic war, he was just a diplomat. Signed papers, shook hands. Now he was pretending to be a royal fiancé. He laughed to himself. First contact, he muttered, was not in the training manual. Outside his room, guards stood watch. Inside, strange music played from the walls. He turned off the lights and closed his eyes. Tomorrow, he would attend the first royal engagement ceremony. Tomorrow, he would play the role of the alien princesses. Chosen mate, and somewhere deep in the palace, Kareth stood on her balcony, watching the stars, thinking the same thing. This human may be the chaos we need. The next morning, Jason Hale stood in front of a tall mirror made of some strange green metal that shimmered like water. He adjusted the stiff collar of the ceremonial robes the aliens had given him. The fabric felt like living moss. Didn't. Like it? Do I look like a noble diplomat? He muttered, or a walking salad? The door slid open with a soft hiss. A tall, thin Zeranth female walked in. Her body was lighter than the queen's or the princess's. Her limbs were long and smooth, and her armor had soft blue patterns on it. She gave a small bow. Greetings, human Jason. I am Sakira, your bonding liaison. I will prepare you for the courtship. Jason blinked. Courtship? Yes. Sakira said. You and Princess Kareth must complete 6 sacred rituals to prove you are compatible. This is tradition. Without the rituals, the marriage cannot be accepted. Jason sighed. Of course. What kind of rituals? Sakira smiled, or at least did something with her mandibles that looked like a smile. We begin with the scent exchange, sent Ritual 1. The scent exchange. Jason stood awkwardly in a garden filled with glowing plants. Was thick, with alien smells, sweet, spicy, sour. Princess Kareth stood across from him, looking calm and focused. Sakira explained. Each partner must share their personal scent by rubbing wrist glands. This allows the other to understand their emotional core. Jason held up his wrist. I don't have scent glands. Kareth stepped forward. You sweat. That will do. Before Jason could reply, she gently grabbed his wrist and inhaled. Her antenna twitched. You smell like stress and old coffee, she said. Thanks, Jason muttered. Very romantic. Kareth offered her wrist. Jason hesitated, then leaned forward and took a breath. Her scent was weird, like metal, flowers, and electricity. It made his brain tingle. Well, she asked. You smell like someone who's never lost a fight, he said honestly. Kareth looked pleased. Ritual 2. the shared huntha. Next ritual was even stranger. Jason and Kareth were dropped into a controlled forest environment inside. The ship, they had to hunt a small, fast creature called a Vrixel as a team, was a symbol of unity and trust. Jason held a stunt spear and ran through the glowing trees, panting. "This thing is fast. Cut it off from the left." Kareth called, leaping over a log. Jason tripped and rolled into a bush. "I am not made for this." Kareth darted forward and slammed her spear into the ground. The Vrixel froze and shirred. She offered Jason the kill. Jason looked at the little alien animal. It looked like a rabbit made of glass. He gently picked it up and let it go. Kareth raised an eyebrow. "Why didn't you stun it?" "'Cause it wasn't hurting anyone," Jason said. "The point was to show teamwork, right? We caught it together?" Kareth was silent for a moment. Then she said, "That was unexpected, but acceptable. Cultural." Confusion over the next 2 days, Jason learned just how different the Zarenth were. Their food was strange. One dish moved on its own. It tried not to scream when it jumped off the plate. Their beds were made of soft, breathing plants that adjusted to your weight. He didn't sleep well. Their music was based on vibration and smell. At one concert, Jason sneezed for 20 minutes straight. But the worst part? The stares. Wherever he went, nobles and warriors watched him, some with curiosity, others with disgust. Many of them didn't like a soft, strange human being named future consort of their princess. Jason felt like a monkey in a zoo. Only Kareth seemed to understand. During a quiet walk in the garden, she said, "They do not see your worth." Yet, Jason looked at her. "Do you?" "I see potential," she replied. "You are not strong like us. But you are clever. Quick. You think sideways." Jason chuckled. "I'll take that as a compliment." Ritual 3. The Trial of Memory. In a large, glowing chamber, Jason sat across from Kareth. Between them floated a silver orb. Skira explained that the Trial of Memory would allow them to share a brief vision of each other's past. The orb would connect their thoughts. Jason was nervous. He didn't want her to see some of the dark things from his life. War, death, regret. But the ritual had to be done. They both placed a hand on the orb. Images flashed through Jason's mind. His childhood, Earth's blue skies, his mother laughing. In the kitchen, it's the battlefield on Mars, the peace treaty he signed on Europa. Kareth's memories rushed in next. Training in the military hive. Watching her sister fall in battle, her first solo hunt, her private dreams of changing the Empire, the connection ended. Silence. Jason looked at her. "You've lost people too." "Yes," she said quietly. "War takes much." Jason nodded. "You want peace as much as I do." For the first time, Kareth looked at him with something more than duty in her eyes. Respect, a shared secret later that night. Kareth called Jason to a hidden room deep in the palace. The walls were dark and pulsing with green light. "I need to show you something," she said. She opened a panel. Inside was a communicator and a legal one, not controlled by the royal network. Jason looked at her. "What is this?" "Speak with others across the Empire. It's young nobles, workers, scientists. We call ourselves the New Dawn." Jason frowned. "You're leading a secret resistance?" "Yes," she said, "but I do not seek war. I seek change, a better way." Jason stepped closer. "Why are you telling me this?" "'Cause you are part of this now," she said. "The Queen wants you as a symbol of union, wants you as a voice. Your words carry power. Your people are rising." Jason laughed nervously. "I'm just a guy who signed treaties." Kareth leaned forward. "You are more than that. Are the first human to walk freely in the palace. To sit at the Queen's table. To be chosen by her." Jason rubbed his neck. "I don't know if that's a good thing," Kareth said. "It is, but you must choose. You can run. You can help me change this empire from the inside." Jason looked at the communicator. He thought of Earth, of peace, of how humans always found a way, even in the worst situations. He looked up. "What's the next ritual?" Kareth smiled. "The trial of fire. We must stand side by side in a forge and shape a weapon together." Jason grinned. "Great. Nothing says romance like forging a deadly blade." Ending scene later that night, Jason sat alone in his room. He stared at the stars outside the window. He came to this empire to avoid war. Now he was in the middle of something bigger. He didn't love Kareth, but he respected her. She was fierce, smart, and brave, and she was trying to make things better, just like him, maybe. They weren't lovers, but they could be allies, maybe even friends. He smiled to himself. This wasn't just diplomacy anymore. This was a mission that mattered. Jason Hale stood on a metal platform high above a massive crowd. Thousands of Zarenth aliens filled the grand arena, buzzing and chanting. Their voices echoed like a hive of thunder. Next to him stood Princess Kareth, looking calm and strong. As always, she wore her ceremonial armor, sharp and shining. Jason, on the other hand, wore a new version of the strange moss-like robes. At least this one didn't itch. Sakira stepped forward and raised her long arms. Today, she shouted, the human and the princess begin the engagement games. The crowd cheered. Jason leaned over and whispered to Kareth, "What exactly are the engagement games?" Kareth didn't look at him. "Public challenges, physical and mental? A way to prove we are worthy of each other?" Jason groaned. "Let me guess. More running, jumping, and almost dying?" She turned her head slightly. "Correct. Trial 1. The Tower of Trials. Jason and Kareth stood at the bottom of a tall, glowing tower made of alien stone. Strange beasts carved from energy flew around the top, watching them. "Climb it together," said Sakira. "No tools, no help, just teamwork." Jason looked up.
Ow.
The tower stretched at least 20 stories high, covered in smooth surfaces, glowing lines, and moving ledges. "I'm going to fall off this thing," he muttered. "You will not," Kareth said. "How do you know?" "Because I will not let you." They began to climb. Kareth was fast and strong. Jason struggled, slipping more than once. But each time, she caught him. She pulled him up. She even showed him where to step. By the time they reached the top, Jason was out of breath and covered in sweat. The crowd roared. Kareth raised his hand in victory. Jason smiled through the pain. Trial 2. The Web of Lies. The second trial was inside a dark chamber filled with glowing strings. In the center sat a Zarenth Eldera, psychic judge. "This is the trial of lies," the judge said. "One of you will speak truth, the other will lie. I will read your emotions. If you fool me, you pass." Kareth nodded. "I will lie." Jason blinked. "Wait, what? I'm the diplomat here." "You are also easier to read," she said. Jason frowned. "That's not a compliment." Kareth gave a rare smile. It was not meant to be. They sat across from each other, the elder. Judge closed all eyes but one and placed a tendril on the strings. The game began. Kareth spoke with perfect calm. "I enjoy human food. I believe Jason is strong. I think this marriage is a good idea." Jason watched her closely. Her face showed nothing. No twitch. No emotion. Like a statue. Then the judge turned to Jason. "You tell me, human, was she lying?" Jason took a breath. He looked at Kareth. He remembered her words, her actions, her secret resistance. "She lied about enjoying human food," he said. "Lied about thinking the marriage is a good idea. But she wasn't lying about me being strong. She meant it." The judge slowly nodded. "You pass." Jason grinned. "Told you I was the diplomat." Trouble in the shadows that night. Jason returned to his room. He was exhausted, but proud. 2 trials down. He was even starting to earn respect from some of the alien nobles. But as he entered, froze. His door was open. Quietly, he reached for the stun rod near the wall. He stepped inside. The lights flicked on. A strange Zarenth stood in the corner. His armor was black.
Oh.
No royal symbols. His eyes glowed red. "I am not here to kill you, human," the stranger said. "Good," Jason replied, holding the stun rod tightly. "Because I'm not in the mood for fighting. I bring a message. From the High Nest, the Hidden Council. Of warriors? Another secret group? Jason said. How many of you are there? Too many, the alien said. But this is important. There are those who want Kareth dead. They believe she will bring weakness to the Empire. Jason lowered the rod slightly, and I suppose they want me dead too. Yes, but not yet. They want to use you, then remove you. Jason narrowed his eyes. Why are you telling me this? Because some of us believe in Kareth's vision, and you are unexpected. You confuse the system. That is power. Then the stranger disappeared into the shadows. Jason stood there, heart pounding. He knew now this wasn't just a game anymore. This was war. Hiding under diplomacy. Trial 3. The Dance of Unity. The third trial was more elegant, but no less difficult. In the grand ballroom, Jason and Kareth were required to perform the Dance of Unity, a formal display of balance, movement, and emotion. Zarenth dance was not like human dance. It involved steps, turns, and synchronized breathing. Every move had meaning. Jason had never danced in his life. He kept stepping on Kareth's toes well claws. She didn't show pain, but he could tell she was annoyed. Your left foot. Always your left, she whispered. I don't know my left from my life right now, he hissed. But slowly they found rhythm. Kareth led. Jason followed. At the final step, they spun together, claws and hands linked, eyes meeting. The crowd clapped. Jason smiled. Not bad, partner. Kareth nodded. Acceptable. More than a game after the dance, Kareth and Jason met alone in a private chamber. She sat on a curved bench. Staring at a glowing map of the Empire, Jason sat beside her. You did well, she said. I had a good teacher. There was a pause. You've changed, Kareth said. How so? You were still soft, still strange. But you were brave and clever. Jason smiled. You know, for an alien war princess, you're not so bad either. She looked at him. We may not be mates, but we could be allies, maybe even friends. Jason held out his hand. Kareth looked at it, then slowly shook it. In my culture, he said, this means a promise. I understand, she said. Then I promise too. The assassination attempt later that night during a private banquet. The lights suddenly went out, screams buzzing. A blast of energy struck the wall near Jason's head. Get down. Kareth shouted, pulling him under the table. Guards ran in. Lights flashed. Jason peeked out. Two assassins in black armor fired into the crowd. Kareth didn't wait. She leaped over the table, slamming into one of them. Her claws flashed. The assassin screamed and dropped. Jason saw the second one aiming at her. He grabbed a fallen stone rod, rolled across the floor, and threw it like a spear. It struck the assassin in the back. The alien dropped with a hiss. Silence. The room cleared. Kareth stood over the fallen bodies, breathing hard. Jason sat up, shaking. You okay? He asked. Kareth nodded. You saved my life. You saved mine first. She looked at him. You are more than just a symbol now, Jason Hale. Jason stood up and brushed off his robe. Well, he said, guess we just completed the trial of not dying. Kareth laughed. A real laugh. End of part 3. A growing bond that night. Jason and Kareth stood on the palace balcony, looking at the stars. Things are getting dangerous, Jason said. Yes, Kareth replied. But change always is. Looked at her. You still want to go through with this plan? Reforming the Empire? Yes. With or without the Queen? Jason took a deep breath. Then I'm in. All the way. No more faking. Kareth turned to him. Then we will finish the trials. We will become symbols of something better. Jason smiled. Oh. And maybe, along the way, we'll win. The palace was glowing. Thousands of Zaranth citizens filled the capital city's streets. Tall towers lit the sky in soft green light. Giant banners hung from the buildings, one of Queen Zaraxis, one of Princess Kareth, and one of Jason Hale. Jason stared at the massive image of his own face and muttered, That's too much forehead. Kareth, standing beside him in full ceremonial armor, looked at him with one of her rare smiles. It is tradition. You are the chosen mate. The people must see your face. Jason adjusted the tight collar of his wedding robe. I still don't know if I'm dressed like a prince or a walking fruit basket. The robe shimmered red and gold, covered in tiny moving crystals. It felt like it was alive. Kareth raised her hand and gently tapped his shoulder with 2 fingers. You nervous? Jason took a deep breath. Nervous. I'm about to pretend marry an alien princess in front of the entire empire. Knowing that half the crowd wants me dead and the other half wants to control me. So yeah, I'm a little nervous. Kareth nodded. Good, that means you were paying attention. The final ritual, binding of voices, the wedding, was more than just a ceremony. It was the 6th and final ritual in their engagement trials. The binding of voices, where both partners had to stand before the queen and speak a vow to the people, promising unity and trust. Jason and Kareth walked through the golden halls of the palace, passing nobles, warriors, and curious watchers. Behind them, royal guards marched in silence. They stepped into the grand hall. It was massive. The floor was polished obsidian. The ceiling stretched into darkness. Floating lights hovered above the crowd. At the end of the hall stood Queen Zaraxis, taller than ever in her battle crown. Her many eyes fixed on Jason, she raised a clawed hand. Today, the blood of Earth and the blood of Zarenth shall join, she declared. Through bond, through vow, through strength. The crowd chanted. Drums pounded like thunder. Kareth stepped forward first. She spoke clearly, her voice echoing through the chamber. I am Kareth, daughter of the queen, hunter of the east sky, blade of the flame nest. I vow to protect my people. I vow to seek truth, not just tradition. And I vow to stand with this human, not as property, but as partner. The room fell quiet. It was Jason's turn. He stepped forward. His heart beat fast. His palms were sweaty. He looked at the queen, then the crowd, then Kirsch. Then he spoke. I am Jason Hale, of Earth. I came here to talk peace. I found something bigger. I vow to stand for what is right even when it's dangerous. I vow to support Kareth not because I have to, but because I choose to. And I vow to protect those who cannot speak Zarenth or human. There was silence. Then someone clapped. Then others. Then the whole chamber roared. Jason smiled, breathing out slowly. For a moment, he felt like maybe, just maybe, this crazy plan might work. The queen's private orders after the ceremony. While the crowd celebrated in the city, Jason was summoned to the queen's private chamber. He entered slowly. The room was dark, glowing only with blue fire in the corners. Queen Zaraxis sat on her throne, her huge form motionless. You have played your part well, human, she said. Jason stayed silent. But do not forget, she continued, you are still mine. This union is for the strength of the empire. Nothing more. Jason met her eyes. I didn't do this for your empire, your majesty. I did it for peace and for Kareth. The queen leaned forward. Be careful with your words. Even a pet can be punished. Jason's jaw tightened. I'm not your pet, she chuckled. We shall see. A dangerous plan that night. Jason met Kareth in the resistance chamber hidden beneath the palace. Only a few members of New Dawn were present, young nobles, scientists, warriors, and even a few commoners in disguise. They stood around a large table, a holographic map showing the Empire's communication towers. Kareth looked serious. This is our chance. She pointed to a key node. If we take control of the central tower during tomorrow's Unity Parade, we can send a free message to the entire Empire, not just the cities, but the colonies, the outer nests, even the enslaved systems. Jason nodded. A broadcast of truth. Kareth turned to him. The Queen will try to stop it. She will try to shut us down, erase the message. We must be ready. Jason looked at the team. I'll lead the speech, but someone has to protect the tower. A young warrior stepped forward. We will hold the line. Kareth looked into Jason's eyes. This is more than a fake marriage now. If you do this, there's no turning back. Jason took a breath. I know, he said. but maybe it's time someone turned forward instead. The Unity Parade the next morning, the Unity Parade began. Giant flying creatures carried banners through the sky. Floating platforms carried performers and soldiers. Citizens danced in the streets. Jason and Kareth stood on the lead float, waving. To the people, but under his robe, Jason carried a hidden comm device, ready to send the signal once they reached the tower, at the edge of the city. Resistance forces were already moving. Jason's heart pounded. Almost time. Suddenly, the float shook. An explosion rocked the plaza ahead. Scream's guards rushed in. Assassins in black armor appeared on rooftops. Firing energy blasts, the Queen had struck first. Battle at the tower, Kareth turned to Jason. Go now. No. Ran through the crowd as guards and rebels clashed. Smoke filled the air. Buildings shook. Civilians fled. Jason reached the tower's control room. The resistance had already taken it, but the Queen's elite soldiers were close behind. Quick! Someone shouted. Start the broadcast! Jason stood before the console. A glowing red light blinked. He pressed it. The signal began. He looked into the camera and spoke. People of Zarenth, I am Jason Hale of Earth, and I am not your enemy. Your own leaders keep you blind, keep you silent. But Princess Kareth has a different vision, one of choice, of truth, of peace. 2. We do not seek to rule you. We seek to set you free. Oh. Across the Empire, screens lit up in cities, on ships, on distant colonies. They saw the human. They heard his voice, and they listened. The Queen's rage in the palace. Queen Zaraxis watched the broadcast. Her eyes burned with fury. Shut it down. She roared. Her tech priests tried, but the signal was protected. The truth was out, and nothing could stop it now. The princess versus the Queen back at the plaza. Kareth stood before her mother. Guards surrounded them, weapons ready. You betrayed. Me, the Queen hissed. No, Kareth said calmly. I set us free. You will die for this. Kareth raised her voice. People of Zarenth, look at your Queen. She fears your freedom. Some guards hesitated. Others lowered their weapons. The Queen charged. Kareth met her. Claws clashed. Sparks flew. Their battle was brutal, Queen against air, old power against new, in the end. Kareth stood victorious. The Queen lay defeated. The crowd was silent. Then someone cheered. Then another. Then the whole plaza. The wedding. That changed. Everything by nightfall. The fighting stopped. The Queen was gone. Kareth was now ruler, but not as a tyrant. She stepped onto the palace balcony with Jason beside her. I do not take the crown today as conqueror, she said, but as servant of the people, we will build a new Zarenth. Together, Jason stepped forward. I came here as a diplomat, then as a fake fiancé, but today I stand as a friend, and Earth stands with you. Cheers filled the air, Kareth. Turned to him, Jason Hale. Will you remain by my side? Jason smiled. As long as I don't have to eat those live worms again, she laughed. The city was quiet, but the air was thick with change. Jason Hale stood next to Kareth on the balcony of the newly rebuilt palace. The crowd below stretched as far as the eye could see. Zarenth citizens, humans from Earth, and representatives. From many other star systems, the old empire was broken. Queen was gone. A new age was beginning. Jason looked at Kareth. Her eyes were fierce but hopeful. She had changed, grown stronger, and so had he, rebuilding, trusting the weeks after the revolution. The work began. The resistance turned from fighting to building. Jason helped lead talks between humans and Zarenth citizens, ensuring peace and cooperation. Kareth worked to reform the government, replacing old, corrupt leaders with new ones who cared for the people. Not everyone agreed with the changes. Some noble families tried to stir trouble. Some colonies resisted. But Jason and Kareth stayed united. We will win, Kareth told him. Because this time, we fight for something real. Jason nodded. And because we have each other. An unexpected visitor one afternoon, as Jason trained in the palace courtyard. A strange ship landed nearby. A tall alien stepped out, one Jason had never seen before. His skin shimmered with blue light. His eyes were deep and kind. "I am Envoy Laron," the alien said. "I come from the Galactic Council." Jason and Kareth met him in the palace hall. "We have been watching your progress," Laron said. "Your union has inspired hope across many systems." Jason smiled. "That's good to hear. We want peace. True peace." Laron nodded. "But peace requires trust. And the Galactic Council offers its help." The Council's offer. The Galactic Council proposed a new alliance. Zeronth would join a network of peaceful worlds, sharing technology, knowledge, and protection. In return, Zeronth would share its resources, its scientists with others. Kareth and Jason listened carefully. "It is a chance to rebuild," Kareth said. "To grow stronger, not by conquest, but by cooperation." Jason agreed. "And to show that different species can live together in harmony." Laron smiled. "Exactly. Challenges ahead. Despite the hope, danger still lurked. Some remnants of the old regime were plotting in the shadows. Rumors of rebellion stirred in distant colonies. Jason trained with the new Zeronth Guard, teaching them Earth tactics and strategies. Kareth strengthened the palace's defenses. "We cannot let history repeat itself," she said. Jason looked at her. "We won't. Not with this team." A personal moment one evening after a long day, Jason and Kareth sat on the balcony again. The twin moons of Zarenth glowed softly. Jason looked at Kareth. "You know, when this started, I didn't believe in any of this." Kareth smiled. Gently. "Neither did I, but now. Now I believe," she said. "In us. In the future." Jason took her hand. "Then I guess that makes us more than just partners in a political game." Kareth nodded. "Much more." Symbol for many news of their union spread across the galaxy. Young aliens and humans alike looked up to Jason. In Capes, they became symbols not of power or control, but of hope, courage, and change. Jason remembered the first days, the fear and confusion, now standing with Kareth. He felt proud. They had faced danger, betrayal, and war. And together, they had built something new, a message to the stars, and the anniversary of their wedding. Jason addressed a vast crowd. He spoke not just for Zarenth, but for Earth and the many worlds watching. "We are different, come from different stars. But we share one truth. Hope is stronger than fear. Stand together, not as masters and slaves, but as friends and allies. Let this union be a beacon of light that guides us all to a better future." The crowd erupted in cheers. Kareth stood beside him, proud and strong. Together, they looked to the stars. The journey continues. Jason knew this was only the beginning. More challenges would come, but he was ready, with Kareth at his side. Felt unstoppable. They had started as strangers forced together by duty. Now they were partners, friends, something more.